Okay, Steve, so all I want to do, I've had an interview with you, a little chat with you, I've spoken to your coaches and some of your training partners. All I want to do now is just do a shield, Gary, back kick, just do it like you normally would do it, as if it's a normal class environment. I'll try and help you out with a few little things that you find a bit tricky. Okay? Yep. Off you go then. Just do a few, okay? Alright. I'll try and speed it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, Steve, let's stop there. Alright, so there's a few things that I can help you with. There's a couple of technical things, and then a few things going on that there's a bit of a mental block from that interview. There's something that's just stopping with this, and I think it's a little bit of you nervous about your grading coming up. But we'll get over that, alright. We'll have a little sit down when we're over here. So we did a performance profile for you. Things like confidence in your self-defence, speed, power in your sparring and stuff, you're nice and confident with things like that. But when it actually comes to this technique, with it being quite an advanced technique, just off target a few times. But talking to your training partners and watching you in classes and so on, because I train here as well, I've noticed sometimes that your head will drop if you make a mistake and things like that. But it's really important that you talk to yourself and you advise yourself the way that you advise others. So what I've noticed is that sometimes you'll miss the target or something, you go, oh God, I'm no good at this and things like that, rather than saying, and it's things like saying, oh well, next time, that was a little bit closer, stuff like that. The way that you talk to one of your training partners and advise them, you've got to do that to yourself as well. So with psychological skills training, it's all about getting that little edge, getting over that little mental barrier that's stopping you. Because if two athletes are exactly the same matched, it's the one that's the mental strength to get through it. But because you're nervous about your grading, there's a little bit of anxiety there. So we're going to do a few things to help overcome the anxiety. So I've just lined up this video for you to have a look at about negative self-talk and what it's like. So this is a golfer doing what we call a closed skill. Can you hear that? Yeah. Just listen to the things he's saying to yourself.
Putting scares me to death. There's no chance I'm going to make this putt. I mean, I've been a bad putter all my life. My dad was a bad putter. My sisters can't even putt. I knew that. It just sucked.
All right.
Really?
So, the kind of things he's saying to himself is, I've always been bad at putting. I'm never going to get any better at putting. My sister's a bad putter and things like that. So that's his affirmation. That's what he's doing to himself all the time. I don't think he talks to anyone else like that apart from himself. But if we have a look at this chap playing basketball, you just listen to the different sort of things he says.
I don't like free throws at all, but I can only get better if I practice them. Let's follow through. Well, that one was kind of close. Just shoot it with more touch next time, and I'll probably get a better result. Breath. Follow through. Dang, that was online. I'm getting closer. Legs.
So,
That one was close.
you hear the difference between the way that this chap was talking to himself and the way that the golfer was talking to himself. So the golfer's down on himself, berating himself all the time, but this guy's finding a little positive in every one. So he misses it, but it's a bit closer than the last time, and so on. So he keeps reconfirming he's getting better and better all the time. So the best athletes in the world use these kind of techniques as well. They bring in psychologists to help them out, and it just meant positive psychological skills training, they call it. There used to be a lot of stigma around psychological things. People used to think they've got problems if they've got a little mental block or something like that. It's nothing to do with that whatsoever. We're all human, we all go through it in different ways, And the best athletes in the world employ
Use that.
psychologists and use these techniques, and they taught them, and they get to elite status, and they all use it. They all use it. So this time we'll have another little go on the pad. This time, if you miss it or something, or it's not got quite the power you've got, have a think about
Yeah.
if that was someone else that you were training, that you were coaching, how you would coach them, and talk to yourself the same way, tell yourself the same things. I'm going to do this little exercise here on this piece of paper. Just sticking with the self-talk theme now. Just back to the camera. We've got an angel and a devil on your shoulder.
Okay.
Alright? So obviously what's going to happen here is the devil is the guy that's saying to you, oh, you're rubbish, you're no good, you're never going to get any better at this. And the angel's the one that's saying, whichever. The one that's going to win out is the one that you talk to the most. So let's put two comments in here that are negative that you say to yourself sometimes, and then what you can say instead.
Okay.
Okay?
That's honesty, because that's what you said yourself on that one.
Can't be moved, going up.
Yeah.
Alright, so for something like that is cast your mind back to how you were when you started, how much improvement you made.
Mm.
So you could put, I've improved all the time,
Yeah.
I've only got a little way to go. You're about 90% there now. So you could put something like that, nearly there.
Nearly there, yeah.
Another thing you can put about this, on this one here, is give yourself a little break. You're only human, and every athlete in the world, even the elite ones, make mistakes.
Mm.
They all make mistakes, and they just learn from them, build from them, and so on. So, just put learning from it all the time. So I'm putting words into your mouth there a little bit, but because this is just your first session, you know the kind of thing that, that we're talking about now. Yeah? All right, perfect. Thanks, Steve. Okay. All right, Steve, so this time, just do it 5 or 6 times, but this time, a bit more speed, a bit more power. But if it's a little bit off target, or it's not quite perfect, let's have a little think about how we can...
I'll just do it like that. Sure.
Alright, be honest with yourself now, was that a little bit better?
Yeah.
So you've got to say things to yourself.
That was a bit better.
Yeah, we're getting there
Just
now.
a tiny bit better. That's better. That's all right.
Stop it there. So we call this, it's what we call a closed skill. So because there's no other competitor around you, no one's trying to, like in the basketball situation, there's just free throws, apart from himself and his own mind, there's no one trying to take the ball off him, it's just him and the hoop and the ball, it's just you and that pad, so it's just yourself you've got to convince that you've got the ability, and you have got the ability. You know, watching in class, all your other techniques are perfect, but this one you just, because it's a tricky technical one, it's just giving you a little bit of a bugging, but with plenty of practice, self-talking things, we'll get better all the time. Right, I just want to show you something else as well, Steve. We've got a perfect shot. So we'll move on now to arousal regulation. So all it is, it's just, because this means so much to you getting your black belt, you're all tense, and you're putting so much pressure on yourself about it that you build up your tense. That's where the negative talk's coming from a little bit. So you need to relax your body on that pad. So you know, like we're doing sparring, a lot more relaxed gives you a lot more speed. So this time, I want to take before each technique that you do, before you do every kick at all, you just take 5 or 6 deep breaths in. Maybe 3 will be enough, possibly, and then go for it, give it your best shot. But also combine that then with the positive self-talk as well. So you calm yourself down a little bit, a few deep breaths, and then off we go. Alright, so let's give it a little try. So this time, before you do the kick, 3 deep breaths just to calm yourself and set yourself. Think look at how your body feels as well. Is it feeling tense around here? So relax your shoulders a little bit, get more relaxed. Get yourself ready again then, so be relaxed now. No tension, a few deep breaths. Alright, couple more, just a couple more. Excellent, okay, relax. So, feeling any better?
Yeah, I feel a lot better.
Yes, just calm,
Yeah.
just sets you down. So, self-talk, cooling your jets a little bit, relaxing, because there's no pressure, it's just you, me and Gary, and that's how it's going to be in the grading as well. There's going to be a few more bodies around you, but it's just us, isn't it? Just you in the pad. Moving on to something completely different now. This is what we call a pre-performance routine. So with it being, again, because it's just you in the pad, there's no external interference, it's a closed skill. A lot of the best athletes in the world, I mean, the more successful one, when they're doing something like taking a putt in golf and that kind of thing, they have a routine that they do before that move, and it normalises it, it makes it absolutely identical almost each time they perform that skill. It's called a pre-performance routine. So I'll show you an example of a pre-performance routine. So probably the most famous golfer in the world is Tiger Woods. All right.
You know, one of the things I always go back to, and you hear people say routine. Well, if you look at, my routine, it doesn't change from the time on the first tee to the time on the 72nd hole of the major championship. It's always the same thing. I start behind the golf ball. As I'm walking into it, I've already picked out my spot. I put my club down, check out my spot, build my stance, go one look, two looks, then I'm gone. And I try and always stay in the same rhythm. I see amateurs I play with and pro-ams, and they're all different. Each hole, each shot, they're in a different rhythm, different routine. Look at all the top players, Freddie and John, and all the guys who play. Everyone's always the same, from shot to shot. And so if you see guys who haven't been down the stretch before, and they're in a situation they've never been before, like some of the younger kids that are coming out, you'll see that it may change from one or two times down the stretch, and usually those are their bad shots. Because they're slightly out of one more look, or they freeze over a ball just a split second longer. Well, that's different. And these are tendencies that I like to look for when I'm playing against guys that who haven't been there. If they do that, then I say, oh, okay, he's uncomfortable. That's fine. That means I can make him more uncomfortable by playing better.
Okay, so even Tiger Woods, probably arguably the most successful golfer ever, every single shot he takes, he never changes the routine, not even slightly. He sticks exactly to his little script, his body movements, picks his spot, one look, two looks, and he goes. And he never varies from it ever. He sticks to it religiously. So let's try and come up with a pre-performance routine for each of your moves. Now you can take this onto any of your pad work. It doesn't just have to be this kick. It can be any of your pad work, and so you can bring it with you. Okay. All right. So Steve, just before you go, before you have your go, come to the side for 1 second. I'll show you what my pre-performance routine is. So first of all, I'm going to be relaxed. Okay, so that's a little bit about relaxation, self-talk and so on. But the pre-performance routine, before I do each one of these, I'm more concerned with quality of the technique rather than the quantity. So I'm not trying to do as many as I possibly can. I'm trying to do a few really good ones. So my pre-performance routine is, I touch the pad twice, and believe it or not, that just gives me, I know if I'm sort of like pulling my shoulder back in, touching it there, I'm just at the right distance for this back kick now. So 2 touches, it sounds daft, it's 2 touches, 2 little bounces, a step across, look, and I'm gone. So it's 2 touches, 2 bounces, step across, and I'm gone, straight away. Now just do one more. There we go. Okay, give it a go. Yours might be something completely different than that. I don't expect you to have one tonight. I want you to get the idea of what one will be and how it's going to develop for you. And especially in your grading, especially in game, just stick to the same thing over and over. So it might be something like count to 7, count to 10, count to 5. It might be that breathing, that's it. 3 breaths, give your opponent, give your partner a little nod, and you're gone. Something like that, okay? Whatever you think. Every single time it's going to look the same. Just do 2 more. 2 more. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Right, so it went a little bit wrong, but what do we do?
Just carry on.
Yeah.
That was a little talk.
Little talk.
Little pep talk.
Few breaths. Doesn't matter. Back to it. That was a good one. Yeah, that was really good. Okay. So that was just a little idea of the performance routine. You might scrap that one and come up with a better one because you're a bit on the spot there. So what was it? What was your performance routine?
I was just relaxing.
Yeah.
I was finding a spot, so I focused on that spot, and I knew that in order for it to be, I'd have to come a bit an inch lower.
Yeah.
And then I would just take 2 deep breaths, nodding, turning, and then going into the move.
So as I said, that's just a little makeshift one for tonight. Play around with it.
That makes
find what suits you. And then when it comes to your grading, which is another month or 2 away now, have one in place. If it helps, now I think it can help a lot. Right? Okay. Let's have a look. I think what can also help you is another psychological skill, which is known as imagery. So what you do is, just in your mind, you picture all the little components that go towards making a perfect technique, or you can picture the whole technique together, or you can picture yourself at the grading, what it looks like, what it feels like, and that sort of thing. So the more components in your image, in your visualization that you can put together, the more realistic you can make it, the better.
Right.
And it's been proven that with imagery, it's the second best thing to actually do physical training. So it's as close. You can lie in your bed at night, you can visualise anything about it, you can sit on the sofa, you can basically do it anyway, so you're not limited by your training environment.
Okay.
You can do imagery anywhere. And it's very, very close to the real thing. And if you can, it might sound daft, but if you can put your karate suit on when you do it and things, and you get the feel of it. It might sound a little bit over the top, but Wayne Rooney used to do that before important matches. He put his kit on, he'd lie on his bed in his whole kit, and he'd think about the moves and all that sort of thing. I'll just show you, there's a video here of a Canadian hockey player, and this guy is deep in his imagery here. Just watch how he's almost hypnotised by it when you watch him. He's really, really into it. Just have a little look.
He's visualizing, watch this now. Now look at this, I've never seen anything like this. And watch at the very end, when this is a long one, he's looking right at the spot where he shot the puck. See that? He's you know, I hear guys out there doing their sticks and everything. Isn't that something? Whatever he's doing right. Now look at you looking at that spot again. He got that spot down perfect. You look at, see that? He's getting ready to just snap that puck like that. Bobby did this. Bobby would be in the dressing room. He would not go out. Bobby would be in the afternoon at 2:30 in the afternoon, getting ready for a 7 o'clock game, just like he's getting ready, not quite as early. But Bobby would do the exact same thing. Now watch, it's that spot that he was looking. Watch that spot. Boom. And he had another great spot with it before. And you see that spot? That's his spot visualizing.
Okay. So that player there, I think he was so deep into his image and so deep into his visualization. He was when he was sat on that bench a couple of hours before the game started, he was playing that game.
Yeah.
He was in there. He was doing it. That's how deep into his image he was. So just find tell you what, use this spot here as your starting spot.
Yeah.
All I want to do now is you can crouch down. You're just going to jump as far as you can.
That way.
Yeah.
Go for it. Okay.
Scotland. Right, going back.
Jump back.
Yeah, no, just walk back to your spot. Walk back to your spot, right, I'll keep your foot there. So we've got about there. Right, just stand there now, relax, relax, relax. I want you to think, and imagine now, so your imagination comes into a little bit of play here now. Coming completely away from karate altogether, you've just done that. There's no risk there at all, there's no jeopardy or anything like that. So what I want you to imagine now is that you're on the edge of a cliff.
Okay.
This is a huge, huge drop, and you've got to jump as far as you can. The other edge of the cliff is over here.
Right.
So you're going to beat your own, hopefully, if it all works out, you should get better than your first try.
Okay.
So, close your eyes for a second. You're on that edge of that cliff. Is it a hot day?
Yeah.
Alright. Is it crumbling away? Yeah? It's a bit. Alright, so let's see that big jump now. Alright. So you got, there was a little bit of a hop after it, but you got a couple of inches further anyway, so you did beat your first score. I don't think that's a perfectly scientific example.
No, but I know exactly what
you get
you're
the
saying.
sort of idea,
Yeah.
don't you? You can apply that to your pad work.
Yeah.
So to help you get over that anxiety for your grading, you can come down and visit the venue beforehand, get used to the place. You can picture yourself there beforehand and so on. And each time you do the pad work in your class, you can imagine that you're at the venue as well, rather than imagining it in the classroom environment. So you make it as realistic as you can. All right. So how are we getting on so far? I think it's something you might be able to use.
Oh, definitely.
These kind of things.
Definitely.
All right. So we've had self-talk, relaxation, pre-performance routine. I think that's going to be quite an important one that you always get every time. A little bit of imagery, a little bit of visualization. Now the examples I've given there might not be the absolute best, but you get the idea behind it, visualization. Yeah. And then the final thing I want to talk to you about is goal setting. So setting little goals. Although all it is, it's just, although it's just one single technique, we can still have little goals for that. We can still have things called SMART goals, alright, which are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and resourced and time limited. So specific, in other words, you're being really, really clear about what you want to achieve. So an example for yourself is if you do 20 back kicks, we want 15 of them to be perfectly in the centre with good speed, good power, good accuracy that you're happy about. Right? So not screwing it off target and so on. Is it measurable? Well, that's a really easy measurable one, isn't it? You either did or you didn't. So did you do 15 out of the 20? Yes or no? Is it achievable? Yeah, it's achievable, yeah. It is.
Definitely achievable.
We're almost there already. So what you could do is you could break it down to smaller chunks. We've got a few weeks to go. So in your training sessions, when we do that technique, if you do 20, we're aiming for 10. By the week after, we might be aiming for 12, then 15, and then 18. We get to 18, and we've cracked it, haven't we? So we could do it like that. Is it realistic and resourced? Have you got the training equipment? Have you got the facilities to do it? Is it realistic? Are we asking you to get 20 out of 20 every single time? No. And time limited, so we have to set a time on it now.
Okay.
For yourself, that's I want it to be at least 2 weeks before your grading. You're at that level of 15 out of 20 that are exact, because then you give yourself a bit of breathing space. We're not saying a couple of days before or by the grading. We're saying 2 weeks before your grading, you'll have this mastered. All right. So that's an idea of SMART goals. Okay. So let's go and have a go on the pad. And we'll try and put all those aspects together. Now I appreciate that it's only 2 little sessions, but I think you can get the feel for it and what it's all about. But like anything, it's practice that's going to make this better. Okay, practice. So apart from just doing the technique, if you can practice these skills as well, it takes a little while. Okay, let's have. So Steve, just to recap, although talking about self-talk first, I wanted to get the self-talk out of the way first because that was going to stop you from doing the other things.
Yeah.
But now, what you need now is you need the relaxation, the pre-performance routine, then if things go a little bit wonky for you, then the self-talk, yeah? and a bit of imagery and so on. So self-talk is going to go down the scale now, but when I first spoke to you, the self-talk was what was getting in the way a little bit.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
So just do a few. Have a few warm-up ones first, and think about those things. So now we've got pre-performance routine. On target, good. Good one. I like that. You just said that's better, didn't you?
Yeah,
That time? So
yeah.
you're telling yourself now. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, let's do two more and we'll call it quits for tonight. Alright, so two, the best ones you've got. Best ones now. So, before you do them though, a few deep breaths. Get that right distance. Do your pre-performance routine, which is going to need a bit of work.
Yeah,
because it's too
definitely.
new to you at the moment, but let's go for it. Fantastic. Let's call it quits then. Okay. Gary, thanks for your time tonight. Appreciate it. Steve?
That's it.
Fantastic. Okay.
Enjoyed that. It's like a one-on-one, wasn't it?
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Very good money for that.
Down just for half a minute. Honestly, half a minute now. Okay, Steve, so we've had 2 sessions now.
Yep.
What did you think of psychological skills before the sessions? Do you have any preconceptions
No,
about
I didn't.
negatives or anything?
It was more the talking to myself.
Yeah.
I did used to beat myself up a
Yeah.
lot.
Do you feel a bit daft doing it though? These.
No, doing this, no, not at all, not at all. Because I do feel as though I've got better.
You think there's a bit of value in
Yeah,
it?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Especially that self-talk.
So, I've done a few sheets here for you to take away with yourself that gives you more information about it all. Telling you about a few psychological skills. A few more tips than I could manage in these couple of sessions with you. If you do want to do any more, I'm just £50 an hour.
Okay.
No, Steve, thank you very much.
Very much.
Appreciate it. You take those. I'll see you next time at training session. Thank you.